11th year now. I think in the last 10 years, I don't think anybody can come out of the auction saying, look, we got everything right. It's very difficult when you're sitting there and when the paddle is going up, it's very difficult to get your combinations right. Yes, you have your teams that you would want to pick, but you'll have to decide at the auction table as to whether you want to go, because it, like Aakash mentioned, especially with the RTMs, you know that people will go after your key players, and with someone like Mumbai Indians, they're the champion team. So when you go to the auction table, the rest of the franchises will be looking at the champion players to go for. So it's quite a difficult task.
Talking about Mumbai Indians, let's have a look at who they have retained and how much they've spent to retain those three. All three capped Indian players. They've gone to Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya, Jasprit Bumrah. Bumrah at 7 crore, the #1 T20 bowler in the world currently. I think that's a steal. And you've got 47 crore left. But then what happens now? Of course, a champion side will have a lot of good capped Indian players. So these guys now cannot be retained. Of course, they can be bought, but they cannot be retained using the right to match card. Harbhajan Singh, Karan Sharma, Ambati Rayudu and Parthiv Patel, and it makes it very interesting because they do have a certain Krunal Pandya, who's an uncapped Indian player, available to them, and right to match card can be used.
So break it down for us. Basically, you either use it for 2 foreigners and they have a plethora of foreigners to choose from, or you use that uncapped player. So if you're Mumbai Indians, which you spend fair amount of time with Mumbai Indians, what's the thinking here?
It all depends on which bucket Krunal comes into. I'm sure Mumbai would want to retain Krunal Pandya with what he did last year. And he's a left-hander, comes in the middle order, floats, bowls left-arm spin, and then, is a good fielder. So he's an ideal uncapped player who's performed for Mumbai Indians. So you would want to retain him. But having said that, it all depends on which bucket he comes in. If he comes in the first lot, then I think it's a lot easier to say, okay, this is the price that we will go after. And you can possibly, look to increase the cap. But if he comes later on, and if you have used, say, 1 RTM for, say, a Joss Buttler, who comes probably in the first lot, then what do? Do you have enough money to go after Krunal, or you just give up? So it's quite a challenge when you're sitting at the table. So it all depends on which bucket he comes in. And ideally, if I was sitting there, I would initially look at a Joss Buttler and a Krunal Pandya as your 2 RTMs for Mumbai Indians.
But considering that you've retained the Indians, why not 2 foreigners for your RTMs? So a Joss Buttler and how about a Pollard? I mean, is that what Mumbai Indians should be planning?
Could do, yeah. I think every franchise would have a value on each of these players. Krunal is quite attractive buy for my liking as well, but he would have a value. And as Anil said, it depends on when his name comes up. There will always be plenty of foreigners to choose from, but there are some exceptionally good ones as well, ones that have been retained, as we've seen. But Krunal, to me, is quite attractive.
Now, if you're Krunal Pandya, you're probably just sitting back and saying, let them all come in, because in your opinion, for all these players we've spoken about, Buttler, Pollard, Krunal Pandya, if you're Mumbai Indians, how far are you willing to go?
It all depends where they come on that auction table. Anil spoke about which basket or which bucket do they belong to. Because if you have money left, of course, you want to break your bank and acquire their services. They'll have an eye on Kieron Pollard as well, because he brings 2 skills to the table, can bowl a little bit, he's an outstanding fielder, and he's a finisher. A finisher is worth its weight in gold in T20 cricket because you can change the game, impact the game in the last 5 overs. He's a proven customer. You've got Joss Buttler, so you may want to retain him.